You're watching Talking About. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kelduff.
And
I just want to see magic.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's not a proper welcome.
I know. My mouth isn't working.
Bauer.
Yes, thank you. My mouth just stopped working.
Daniel.
And you were the one who was talking about being nervous. And you were the one who was talking about being nervous, and my mouth stopped working.
Well, that happens when we're in the presence of such greatness.
Oh, jeez.
Now do magic.
You really want to see a trick?
Well, no. Let's. I mean, John, go ahead, set up and introduce Daniel.
Okay, well, you are, we got cut off. Magician, escape artist, heir to the Houdini legacy?
Yeah, the successor to Harry Houdini, yep. And I had a phenomenal career happening about well over 10 years ago. And then there was a big plundering sort of drop in my career. When I was diagnosed with HIV, I lost a massive, multi-million-dollar backing from a company. They pretty much called me a liability. I was about ready to unveil this brand new escape that I was engineering, where I would be plunged into an 800-gallon fish tank, restrained in a straitjacket, wrapped up in chains and shackles, and thrown into this fish tank with 1,000 piranha. Hopefully, at 90 seconds to escape alive. It's kind of hot, actually.
Well, someone has to wonder. It's like why this sort of like career in escape artistry? It sounds almost like not incredibly death-defying, but it's like it's really just. What fascinated you about becoming an escape artist?
So I'm a huge, ever since I was a little kid, I fell in love with S&M, sorcery and magic.
Okay.
And,
my head just went somewhere.
Ever since I was 8, I got this Blackstone Harry Jr. magic kit, and it was like, love at first sight. Like, I went into the vortex right there. That's where I went. And I became even more fascinated with the life of Harry Houdini, and just wanting to
who was also fascinated with the occult and sort of like
yeah, absolutely. So it's just the idea of challenging the human body, that the human body really can surpass anything, that we can, there's no boundaries to what our body can do. So now living with HIV today, I'm now trying to break down stigma by showing that, hey, I'm getting back in this tank. We're re-engineering it, practicing it, kind of thing, and show the world that, listen, if the piranha ain't scared of me, you shouldn't be scared of me too. So. Well, although I am scared of the piranha, I will admit. So,
well, Jason wanted you to blow his mind. So blow his mind.
Oh, there's a trick.
Yeah, John actually got to see a new show that we opened up here in New York. We had previews, and we're getting ready for the worldwide debut coming up. And it's the story of my life that I tell through the art of magic.
Right.
I talk about what happened when I was diagnosed and sort of the show. And this is one of the stories that I talk about how, as an elder magician, I have lost
stop.
As an elder magician, I lost ways with listening to little kids who wanted to show me tricks. So I'm on this plane, and this kid, I'm sitting basically in first class, and this mother and this kid are sitting behind me, and they tap me on the shoulder, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're the Houdini guy. My son totally wants to show you a trick." And I'm like, "Really?
That would be
10-year-old
like me,
trick me? No time for it." Shows me this trick.
Okay.
Blows my mind.
Okay.
I looked at the kid and said, "Dude, you got to show me how that's done."
Oh, you didn't know this trick until this happened.
Didn't see it. Blown away,
And
right? The little kid says, "Magicians never reveal their secrets." I wanted to choke that little kid so bad. 2 years it took me to figure out how to do this.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 rubber bands.
Yes.
I have a third just in case.
Okay.
I want you to go ahead and stretch it out. You can stretch mine out as well if you want.
I've heard that before. Why?
We're taking
please, it's a family show. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so yeah.
So I want you to hook them with 2 pointer fingers. Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, just like so. Yeah,
right.
yeah. So that way, and really hook onto it, and that way, if it flings off, it hits you and not me.
Great.
Good.
Okay.
Watch very closely.
Yeah.
Middle finger on my pointer finger.
Yeah.
Thumb is going to go down here. Yeah.
Right.
There's no way in heck that this rubber band could actually pass through the one that you're holding, right?
Well, not without hitting me.
Well, no. Well, or yeah. Pretty much. So there's no way I could try to slip it through this finger here, right, to the other side. No way I can get it through the center. If you watch very, very closely, just like so.
Oh my God.
No, do it again.
You're going to do it again and cheat the angle a little bit, more.
One more?
Okay. All right.
You know what? Can we have Kara hold it this time?
Yeah,
is that okay?
yeah.
Just so we can get it.
She's a lesbian. She's not going to be able to figure it out.
I'm gonna fuck him up after.
You know what? I have a box. In fact, I need volunteers for the piranha practicing, so we could just volunteer.
Oh my God.
All right. So, middle finger on the pointer finger. Watch very closely. Do not blink. There is no way in heck that this rubber band is going to pass through the center. No way I'm going to get it through either side, right? No way I'm getting it through. Watch very, very closely.
Right.
Just like so.
That is so weird.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and practice.
Oh, I'm going to practice, all right.
Go ahead, JC.
Bye.
That's crazy. And a 10-year-old taught you that?
Yeah, I wanted, seriously, I wanted to choke the kid. I
I
was
can
so,
understand.
it really taught me a great lesson to kind of just stop, listen, and remind myself to remain teachable. All the life lessons that I've learned in the last 10 years since my diagnosis, so.
Well, that did kick off something of a journey for you, which you explore in the show.
Yeah.
But just as a little bit of a teaser, you had basically climbed to the top, and the rug was pulled out from under you.
Yeah, I mean, I was there, ready to become the next big thing in the world of art and magic. And the moment my diagnosis was, first the moment that I learned of my diagnosis, because I had no idea. There were no symptoms, and this goes back to, my relationships and yada, 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 and trusting people that I was with, and, they left me before I even got home one night, and, the disappearance of love out of my life, and then I learned I'm HIV positive, and then this company telling me that now the show has become a liability after further review of the risks involved. So it's pretty damaging. It's pretty shocking. And then to kind of be disowned by the world, and then I just became this creature of destruction. I wanted nothing to do with life anymore. I mean, if you were living with HIV, you were shunned to the corner of the world. My family disowned me. It was bad. It was bad. So I wanted.
So how'd you find your way back?
I had to have a forced intervention. I wanted everything and anything to try to kill myself, whether it was addiction, suicide, whatever it was. If I couldn't be on stage performing magic and, bringing this art of excitement to people's lives, and be okay with who I was being accepted as an HIV positive gay guy, then what more was there to live for if nobody wanted me? And it took me a really long time to kind of accept that and to embrace that. And I actually returned to the stage in 2009, but it was not a disclosure of my HIV status, and I felt like it wasn't right. I felt like I needed to air my dirty laundry and get my story out there. So I've actually been speaking at a lot of big conferences, and I am speaking at keynote at a lot of conferences, and created this show Beyond Belief, which debuted actually at the National Healthy Living Summit this past April, and now just opened in New York for 2 nights and previews. And,
which I was privileged to see.
And thank you for coming to that. So we could get that ready for the worldwide debut at the International AIDS Conference. Will be the worldwide debut. And then it's on tour for the rest of the summer. And then after the revamp, we come back to New York to bring the story back. And we hope it's really going to deliver a message of hope and life for people living with HIV, that we shouldn't be feared. But there's such this connotation in the gay community about gays living with HIV, and I just, I'm done with it. So let me get tied up in a straitjacket and tell my story at the same time.
Well, I had mentioned this to you, but one thing that I really enjoyed about the show was how layered it was. The stories that you tell about yourself, mixed with the magic that you performed, each getting more intricate, and through the bonds the self-imposed bonds, coupled with your literal escaping on stage as part of the act, it came together really well, and
thank you.
I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, we're excited about the new version coming out. So my good friend Jeremy Dunn, who is the co-host of Pause I Am Radio, one of the biggest Pause radio shows, he's my special assistant in the show. And so I brought in this really cool network of young HIV activists across the nation, and we've really teamed up together, and they've really had a large input on how this show is sort of coming to life. And then people like yourself, John, and others who have come to see it, and I'm saying, tell me what New York City wants to see. Tell me what people want to see when they come to a theatrical experience. But really, it's not a magic show. It's an experience, if that makes sense.
It's a journey.
So, yeah.
I mean, you shared your journey, through words and action.
Yeah.
That sounds really exciting. I didn't. John invited me to go to the show, and I was so pissed I couldn't make it.
I remember the big muscle guy Saturday night, the one Saturday night show I did. He was so excited to tie me up when the pants came off and the shirt. You know, I mean, it's just there's some great moments and fun, quirky moments, but then really, really intense moments. And this is all going to lead up to the next of the unveiling of Piranha Apparel, the big Piranha escape. So this is the story has to begin somewhere. So.
What makes you want to jump into a tank with piranhas and a straitjacket and chains? And, like, seriously, why?
It's hot. I don't know. It's exciting.
Oh my God, those fish are so ugly. You could die.
It's all right. It's all the risk I'm willing to take for the Houdini legacy.
That is crazy. I was obsessed with magic and Harry Houdini when I was a kid too. Like, yeah, I get that. That's why I'm just like, really? Oh no, no. I couldn't do that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
It's it really, again, I can't speak enough of how much it blew me away, and just going back to the early days of your early fascination with magic and just getting that kit for the first time and your first successful performance in front of another person, where did that take you, just emotionally?
My first.
Well, when you got the hit, the present and your first magic kit, and your first performance. The feeling of your first performance.
I remember actually, it was at my mother's church, and it was this holiday party thing that she was throwing, and it was like my first show, and everybody was clapping, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so in love, like being the center of attention. I will admit it. But just to see the joys in everyone's faces, like the art of making things appear and disappear in that joy, and it's amazing. You know, I tell this story about a 10-year-old boy who died of complications due to AIDS, and that was actually a part of a show that I had done years and years and years ago. And I don't want to tell too much of the story because when the show comes back, it's pretty intense. And I would do this real basic trick for him at night before he would go to sleep. You know, it's the one trick he would ask for. And I remember every time I do it, his parents would be sitting there, and his face would go, it's like that's the miracle of magic. That's the great energy of magic that I'm trying to bring back. There's great people out there doing their sort of magic thing, but for me, it's a little too dark. I'm trying to bring the Doug Henning of life back to the art.
Oh, yeah, 70s and 80s. Yes.
But I ain't doing the bell-bottom striped rainbow jumpsuit, so it's not happening.
But that's how I remember, like, watching, like, seeing magic, just being like, oh, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then it just got really dark and kind of
weird,
goth, and without mentioning names, it just got bad. Mm-hmm. So now I'm trying to restore that.
I think it all has its place, but you're taking it. Your side of it swings the pendulum back to a more empowering place.
Yeah. The idea of believing in magic is fun. I want it to be inviting and embracing, and break down the barriers. There's no smoke and mirrors when you come to my shows. No smoke, no mirrors, no silly theatrical mechanics. You are literally right there, and the magic happens in your hands.
That's so cool.
So it's a lot of fun.
And I was just impressed by the way it started out simple and just gradually got more complex. But that's showmanship. I'm well aware of that. But I'm turning into a babbling idiot because I really was so blown away.
Impressed. Well, you're a motivational speaker as well, right?
I am. Yeah. I do give a lot of keynote speeches at big conferences, and I'm a part of a speakers bureau here in New York City, which is connected directly with the New York City Education Department. So I go in and share my life story at a lot of the junior and high schools here to kind of, talk about prevention, talk about reducing stigma,
That's cool too, because you're like this successful man and like a good positive role model, a positive role model.
Do you find that
that's so cool?
You speak to a lot of youth. Do you find that the kids get it?
I find that a majority of them it's hitting home with them. That's the feedback that I'm getting from the administrators and teachers that are sending feedback to me. Because, you know, when I walk into a room, it's like your first prejudged, you know, pretty little white boy, gay, probably.
No, you're
but then,
giant. You're like 8 feet tall. It's like a Viking walking in the
but then when I
room.
share this story of all this insanity that's happened in my life, with not just me being diagnosed, but also losing my baby brother to AIDS and having to bury him 2 years ago by myself, and my family pretty much leaving that in my hands, saying we don't want anything with the AIDS virus around our family. And you share these stories with the kids, and you realize it hits home with them. Like, wow, I came from a strict religious upbringing too, and
it's a very powerful journey, and I'm really glad that it's resonating with those that it needs to. And the show Beyond Belief is coming back when?
It's coming back mid-September.
Okay.
And you can
This
get
year?
Of this year. Yep, it'll be back here in New York City.
And the website again?
The website Living Positively, positively spelled with a Z. .com, or you can just Google Daniel Bauer, B-A-U-E-R, and you'll find it.
Okay, and yeah, we have to disappear now. So I want to. Sorry, I had to throw it in there. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All
Daniel.
right, thank you guys for having me.
And we'll see you again next time.